Um, oh, we'll make one more. We'll make a couple comments on the vote blue no matter who thing. As usual, this time of year, I get in a fight with a bunch of my friends about it. Not like a fight where we're not speaking to each other anymore, but a difference in ideological policies, maybe. Not sure how to start it. Let's say it this way. The progressive movement, as we just spoke about, is very much about policy, about helping people, about basically turning around a very, very corrupt system that enables these situations where people are not able to get out of it, that go bankrupt from medical expenses and all this kind of stuff. Bernie's campaign slogan is "Not me, us," right? It's not about him. It's about the policy. Okay. There is a big push right now for Bernie people to come over to Biden people on the expectation that he loses tomorrow. I don't subscribe to that expectation. I think he's going to do very well. Baseball season's right around the corner. So is NFL season. But one of the issues with not having Bernie as the candidate, and this happened last time, and I think people aren't really able. Some people aren't able to understand this. Like last time, you had some people that didn't want to vote for Hillary because Hillary's a terrible candidate, which she is. Last time, you had people that were mad at the DNC, which they were and had right to be. This time, you have people that are angry at the DNC, which they have a right to be with all the crap that's been happening. To then turn around and say, you know what? Just forget all that stuff. Don't worry about it. Just vote for my guy because Donald Trump is a nightmare. Can you imagine what Donald Trump would do with 4 years? Well, I remember last election when they said, if you don't vote Donald Trump, we're going World War III. Everyone's going to die. Literally. We're going to go to war with North Korea or Russia. We're going to all bomb each other. The whole country was going to be wiped out. I'm moving to Canada. All that kind of stuff. Well, here we are 4 years later. There's some bad stuff because we don't agree with the president or the policies that he's enacted. Some decent stuff. Economy's doing okay. I'm not saying that there's not repercussions to allowing Trump to remain in office. There is, however, definitely a repercussion to allowing the DNC to continually do this to a subsect of their voters. There's a subsect of the DNC, of the Democratic voters, called the progressive voters, who believe in a policy over a candidate. I consider myself in that group. It's okay if you don't. But it's tough to explain to someone that the policy means more. Like, even in the face of like a circumstance that might be bad, it's important to hold like a belief of how a society could be. If you collapse and vote out of fear, in a time like that, when you really believe in something, that will continually happen to you the rest of your life. It's like when you get bullied by someone, and people just keep saying, "Oh, just ignore it, just play through it." And you know, if you've been bullied before, they don't usually stop bullying. The way you confront that, or the way you stop that, is by confronting them, saying like, "Hey, this isn't cool. Like, I don't appreciate that kind of behavior." I don't know why we'd expect it to be different here. A political party is completely bullying a subsect of their voters by saying, "Look at this, we're all going to die if you don't vote for us. How could you not? You're garbage if you don't support us." Even after, there's a lot of not necessarily conspiracy theory stuff, although there is some of that, but right in your face, like the DNC. I don't want to say rigged because that's a meme term now, but a DNC has stacked the deck a certain way for their candidate. Even in the face of that, even in the face of not letting it be an open and fair election, we still got 3.5 million votes in California that haven't been counted. Still got votes in Colorado and Utah that haven't been counted. States that Bernie won, they're slow counting him on purpose. That might be a rumor. We got a precinct in Dallas where hard drives are thrown away. They say 10% of the vote wasn't even counted in Texas. We got stuff like that going on. But still, it should be just shut your mouth and vote who we tell you to vote for. It's not okay. If and I know this plays different with different people. I understand the mindset of vote blue no matter who because I got to get rid of Donald Trump. Believe me, I understand that. I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I don't like him. But I'm sorry, it's not okay to just throw people's ideas in the trash. Look at them. No one is actually excited about voting for Joe Biden. Nobody. Show me one person who's really excited about voting for Joe Biden. Is it maybe his wife? How do you think he is? How do you think Joe Biden's excited? It's a conviction and a belief thing, and it's hard to explain, and people that have that mindset are generally pretty attacked by their own party. So I don't want to hear that shit about, oh, these Brainy people are so aggressive and attacking other candidates and supporters. It's not that Brainy bro nonsense, or we're the aggressive ones, because we're the ones saying, no, it's not okay that you can just do whatever you want and we're supposed to do what you say. That's not okay. I mean, you saw the Martin Luther King quote, right? The was it like it was right before he died. I'm gonna get it wrong, but it was something like that. He's not necessarily afraid of Ku Klux Klan members that have the hoods that are openly racist and aggressive towards him. He basically, before he died, he was saying that what's scarier is moderates. What he said, white moderates who know there's injustice and just do nothing and just say, well, what can you do? That's sort of the same struggle here. And by the way, he died right before he formed the Poor People's Campaign. He had just done that. They were like getting ramped up on it, and then he was killed. And the Poor People's Campaign was basically about income inequality, which Bernie Sanders has many times said, this is the continuation of that. That was the beginning of his whole political theory, was the Poor People's Campaign, which Martin Luther King started. And this is, it's playing itself out again. It's sort of like, and I'm not trying to stereotype my friends because they're not all white moderates, you know, but like white moderates sort of saying, yeah, we know all this stuff is really good and we really want it. We love Medicare for all. We love the free college. We love people to have opportunity. We want to pull people up out of poverty and make their lives better, but we just can't. So, you know, just vote for us. Just vote for my guy. It's tough. It's tough, man. I'm telling you, it's not easy. It's not easy. You can lose friends. You can lose family members over shit like that. But that it's important to me to hold those beliefs. I don't besmirch anyone else for voting for Biden or vote for Trump or whatever you want to vote for. Just have your conviction and don't be intimidated into throwing your beliefs in the trash over what is essentially fear mongering. But yeah, that part of King's speech was like really important. And by the way, that's where I saw it. Nina Turner was on like CNN, and one of the Biden surrogates like called her on it and was trying to call her, like pretend it was about racism. And Nina's like, it wasn't about racism. She's like trying to explain this. She's like, it's about people pretending to care for their own benefit, and then when it comes time to actually do something, it's too hard. How many times have you heard talking about Medicare for all or talking about big change in society can't be done? How many times you heard third party not possible? Not possible. Can't do it. Don't even think about it. Of course you're told not to think about it. The parties don't benefit from that. Of course you're told not to think about Medicare for all. The insurance companies don't benefit from that. So anyways, it's tough to have those convictions. I feel you if you also feel like that. Trust me, I feel you. I'm sorry, I'm catching up. The Democrats have made it clear that they are not the home for the progressive subset. Exactly, Dan. I completely agree with that. And more than likely, we're going to have a progressive third party. Hopefully AOC kicks that off. It's kind of crazy how things turned out. Republicans embrace a non-establishment candidate, not without a fight, and the Democrats are doing everything to destroy theirs. That's true. MLK was afraid of the wolf in sheep's clothing. That's pretty much what it was, yeah. People that are interested in supporting him only when it's easy. And by the way, Bernie has said this a few times in the last 2 weeks in comparison to Joe Biden. He said, listen, look at my voting record and look at Joe Biden's. Joe Biden was right on some issues, wrong on other issues, but Bernie maintains that his whole life has made votes that are the tough vote. So like, he was saying that, which was the one that he brought up? Was it DOMA? Something like that. I think it was the Defense of Marriage Act. He's like, Joe Biden voted for it. Voted for it because it was easy, because everyone was voting for it. And Bernie Sanders said, I voted against it. That was not an easy vote. Because you're trying, like, of course, there's like hundreds of people, all the different congressmen and constituents, everything, and lobbyists, I'm sure, are coming at him all the time. You got to vote like this. You got to vote like that. You got to vote along these lines. It's good for this. He's just like, no, that's not, I don't believe that. He brings up another point about the LGBT community in saying, it might have been in the same vein as the Defense of Marriage Act, where he was like in like 1983 or something, or 78, I forget what it was. He had like a rally for, I forget what it was, a rally for like gay and lesbian people in Vermont. And he like made his own banner and hung it on his house. I think he might have been the mayor of Burlington at that time. But it was like he was basically describing it as to a lot of opposition. Like his opponent was not a fan of the LGBT community, and he lost that race. I think he would have lost that race because of that. Get myself worked up. Making hard decisions when it's not easy is important. It's easy to make hard decisions when everyone agrees with you. They're not so hard then. Anyways, please go vote. You don't have to vote for my guy. Just be excited about something. Be invested. Vote for your belief. Don't vote for who they tell you because you have to. Because can you imagine, what if you voted some other way? Vote for what you actually believe in. Don't vote for who's going to, this guy's the only chance to win. Vote for what you believe. Doesn't matter if your friends hate it. They're your family. You'll get some slack, but you'll have your own truth and honesty and integrity intact. You can feel good about it. Friendships can be mended. That's all I'll say about that. I've gone on long enough about it. Sorry. I feel like every time I start talking about politics, I get into this, like, maybe it's like grandstanding about my belief on voting. But yeah, unfortunately, Bernie has kind of an uphill battle in the next couple days. By the way, I'm going to start bringing up Apex in the background, play a couple of games. It's not going to be easy. It's certainly not easy with all of the media and the DNC basically coming out saying, like, this guy's garbage. We can't do any of his policies. Not possible. How many times have you heard, there's not enough money. Impossible to do Medicare for all. It's like, fucking God damn it. Stop saying impossible. It's not impossible. There are compromises, of course. There's going to be some compromises on Medicare for all. I'm not delusional to think it's going to go in like it is. Okay, it's going to be some compromises. But we can move that direction. Stop telling people that it can't be done, or that they're throwing away their vote, or that their vote doesn't matter. That shit is gross. That in itself is voter suppression, and you should feel bad about that if you say that shit.